I will get back to those phone calls. Everybody, sit tight. I'll be there. Mary, Tim, Pete, Fred, Sandra, April. Don't you worry. But it has been a bit of a nutty week when it comes to finances, too. NVIDIA and the tech stocks took it on the teeth when DeepSeek, I think it was called, from China was unveiled. And they said that we've built this thing for 50 cents, compared to what you guys spend over there. Don't know if it's true. Yeah, that happened. And then, of course, they got together to discuss raising interest rates or lowering interest rates. It didn't happen. So Nick Hopwood is here. He leads his team of certified financial planners at Peak Wealth and loves to give second opinions to folks who aren't feeling the love for their existing advisor. You can always learn more at peakwm.com/Gruber. Nick, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Steve. It's caller Nick from Michigan.
Yeah, it's Nick calling in from Michigan. He wants to talk about finances. Good idea. Let's look. First of all, that whole tech stock sector, it really took it on the chin this week, didn't it?
It sure did. Monday was a real brutal day for NVIDIA and the other tech stocks, but they've had a little bit of a rebound on the broad market since then.
Right.
So
the problem is we don't know if the Chinese are telling the truth about what they built it for or what it can really do. I mean, I'm sorry, but we don't trust the Chinese when they make claims like this, do we?
We don't, but on a bigger picture, we've seen some interesting divergences within the Mag 7, where such stocks like Microsoft are now heading lower, NVIDIA heading lower, whereas others like Amazon and Tesla have continued making new highs. So we've seen divergence within the Mag 7, but also comparing the Mag 7 as a group to the entire market. The rest of the market seems to be holding up a little better. So we might be seeing a turn here where, growth and tech is finally falling out of favor. And look at gold over the last year, up 30%.
All-time record high today.
Yeah, gold's up 30% over the last 12 months, whereas Microsoft is flat. It's unchanged.
Actually, gold is plus 36%, it says here. I don't mean to correct you because you're the professor, but 36% it's up. So that, and silver's also up. Silver's only up 36% for the year. So you could have gold at 36 or silver at 36. Both did pretty well. I have some of both, but I don't invest heavily in that because I never know. I try to be all over the place. What about the Fed meeting? They left the interest rate where it is. Have they given up on this whole, we're going to get inflation at 2%? Is that something they've given up on?
Well, it's something that I'm thinking about and paying attention to because right now inflation is in the high 2s, which is above the target of 2.0, and the Fed held rates unchanged, okay? And they're saying that we don't necessarily need any more accommodation, and referencing the jobs report from last month of 256,000. But also, I want to remind you that we've been averaging 40,000 jobs, 40,000 government jobs each month. And that's one thing that I want to watch under Trump is how does the government jobs number change each month? And if those numbers are going down, then that's going to provide, a little bit of headwind for the economy, whereas it's been a tailwind for years and years and years. So I think if we're going to see a cut, it could be later in the year, but right now we're sitting there at that 4.25 range, which seems to be maybe neutral.
Yeah. We'll see. Look, it's to me, it's that we all sit here on the sidelines, you're in it every day, but it's like, it still feels like I'm going to a casino half the time. Put your money here, put your money there, spin the wheel. That's why you get a second opinion from Nick, because he'll tell you, hey, you'll be safer here, smarter here. You've got something here. I fly Delta all the time, as do you. Our hub is in Detroit, of course. And some nerd website said that having diamond status, if you fly a lot and get preferred status up to your diamond level, it's worth $20,000. How do you come to that conclusion?
It leaves me scratching my head, Steve, because there's two ways to achieve airline status. One is by flying a lot of segments, and one is by spending on the Delta Amex card. So, for instance,
and it's ruined it's ruined it, by the way. I mean, I've been to airports where you're standing in line to get into the lounge, the Delta lounge, because it's been ruined by American Express, in my opinion. But that's just me. Go on.
Well, I'm one of the guys that you're hating on right now because I put all of my business expenses on the Delta Amex card, which has catapulted myself to diamond status, which was the first time that I did that. And it was nice going in the club, and it's nice getting some first class complimentary upgrades, but there's no way that it's worth 20 grand unless you're flying probably every week. I will say this, is that if you play your cards right with some of the benefits, you can fly overseas and go Delta One as a complimentary upgrade. And each one of those Delta One seats could be as high as $7,000. So that right there is a really nice benefit, but unless you're flying overseas and unless you play the game right, it's difficult to achieve. And even then, I'm really scratching my head on the $20,000 value.
Yeah, international flights you usually don't get. Real quickly, No Buy 2025, it's the newest fad on TikTok. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, I like the idea of a frugal February or a no-spend September. If you're having budget problems, go a month and only buy the necessities, right? Really go bare bones on that budget. As far as the whole year, it's kind of like the gym goals, right? They kind of fizzle out after January. So just keep that in mind. But I do support having a reset when it comes to budgeting, especially if you're having trouble with cash flow.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. Go bare bones in 2025. Starving September? No, that's not what it's called. It's something.
No spend September. Yeah.
No starving September. Right. PeakWM.com/Gruber. You can get a free Roth conversion analysis. Find out what is going to go on there. I've heard rumors they're going to get rid of that tax-free part. Nick, I told you, it makes me nervous. Anyhow, we'll talk about that next time. Nick Hopwood, always appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, when we come back, more of your phone calls here on a Free for All Friday. It is the Steve Gruber Show.